On today's show,
LeBron sends a message, Lowry returns to the Raptors, and Westbrook makes his closing MVP argument.
it's just one of them days that Monica's on the show.
And heads up, Kevin, this week's meme team is coming in real hot.
It's Thursday, April 6th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV or later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Thanks for joining us.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis. Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, it's the bearded one. It's Trey Kirby.
Hey, yo!
TK, what do you got, man?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And guys, it's always fun when they have an NBA clue on Jeopardy. And last night they actually had one for Final Jeopardy. But unfortunately for one woman named Amy, it didn't go so well.
The animal on this NBA team's primary logo peaked about 75 million years ago. You're here with 17,000, but unfortunately you didn't come up with the right response.
So close. We were looking for what is the Toronto Raptors. But this does bring us to today's question, which actually comes via email from a Starters fan named Scott, who asks, what are some other potential Jeopardy mascot questions? Good question, Scott. We actually have one clue for you. This NBA team's mascot is so weird, Kanye West offered to redesign it. The answer, or question, of course, who is Chuck the Condor? The Clippers mascot, which is a bird for a team named after ships. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter. What are some other potential NBA mascot questions? Send us your best ones to #TheStarters. We'll try and answer them later.
All right, yeah, test us. Test our knowledge
us.
of NBA mascots. Get your cues in, get your tweets in. All right, we got a fun show tonight. We got a brand new edition of the Meme Team. And hopefully R&B singer Monica is going to join us live from the Fortress. She might be stuck in a little traffic right now.
Right.
We're hoping she arrives in time. If not, Lee,
Yes?
you'll be playing the role of Monica tonight.
Oh, great.
All right, so we'll find out.
It's going to be one of them days.
Oh, there it is.
Yummy.
But before we get to all of that, let's play a little true or false. TK, you've got some questions for us. We'll answer whether they're true or false. It's simple as that.
That's right. LeBron James might be the last person to ask about regular season big games. He sure acted like he cared last night while putting up 36, 10, and 6 as the Cavs destroyed the Celtics to take back the 1 seed and lock in a tiebreaker over Boston. True or false, the East still belongs to LeBron and the Cavs.
100%.
You're
No
right.
doubt.
True.
And that was one game that reminded us LeBron can affect a basketball game more than any other player in the NBA in so many ways. He was playing center last night, but playing point guard at the same time.
Right.
He was point center for that second quarter where they destroyed the Celtics, and Brad Stevens was just hoping that he knew LeBron was the biggest player on the floor, just hoping that he wouldn't go down in the middle and destroy them. And that's exactly what happened. He did whatever he wanted. It was bully ball, and it was beautiful bully ball.
A lot of bad signs for the Celtics last night. Pounded on the glass, we know that's one of their weaknesses. Gave up 58 points in the paint, and Isaiah Thomas didn't really get any help last night. That's just a recipe for disaster for Boston. And LeBron, he did say, he goes, this is just a regular season game, I don't really care about it. But you know when he went out there last night, he was sending a message to the Celtics to say,
Sure.
yeah, you want to try to take me on in the playoffs? Sure. This is what I can do whenever I want on your home court, on a back-to-back.
Exactly, and with no Tristan Thompson.
Exactly,
and,
yeah.
and not only a back-to-back where the Cavs have struggled on the road, but their third game in 4 nights, a tough schedule for them, and you're absolutely right. We thought maybe at some point that Coach Lue would maybe even sit his guys because of the schedule, and instead they come in there, kill them,
Yeah.
and didn't actually rest their guys all that much.
No.
LeBron still played 39 minutes, that was a little odd, but take back control, I guess, of that number 1 seed, which is now theirs to lose because they got the tiebreaker over the Celtics.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the Celtics against the Cavs. They don't have anyone in the middle that makes LeBron or Kyrie think twice when they go to the rim. Just not one guy. LeBron was literally just strolling into the paint, doing whatever he wanted. And you remember those days before LeBron went to the Heat, he would go into Boston and he would get bullied.
Yeah.
And they would dominate him.
Right.
Now the tables have turned. He knew going into this one. It's exactly it. I'm going to dominate. I'm going to bully. Number 1 seed is the Cavs. Again, like it was sort of inevitably going to happen either way, but it happened on LeBron's terms. It was fun to watch.
Statement game there from LeBron. All right, next one, Trey.
All right, Kyle Lowry is back!
Woo!
Good stuff. And the Raptors were happy to see him as the 3-time All-Star tallied 27 points and 10 assists to help beat the Pistons. And Lowry's first game back from a thumb injury around the All-Star break. Guys, true or false? With Lowry back, the Raptors are the Cavs' biggest threat.
I think it is the Raptors.
I think it's true too.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, first off, what a perfect night for Raptors fans. I mean, I'm sure you and I were pretty happy there because Lowry comes back from 18 games? He missed a good chunk of time, but looked pretty dominant against Pistons in a great comeback win, 27-10. So that's good. And then you got them winning, which pushes them ahead of the Wizards for the 3rd seed. And oh yeah, because the Cavs won and are now back in first, maybe you avoid Cleveland until possible conference finals. I know a lot can change still, but that's a pretty good night for the Raptors, and I think they are because they changed their identity, right, when Tucker and Ibaka were acquired. They became again a defensive team, one of the better defensive teams since the All-Star break. You know, the offense is what struggled, I guess, over the last couple months, but now you got a all-NBA point guard there. Takes a bit of the load off DeRozan, who didn't have a good night last night, and this is a dangerous team, I think, in the Raptors.
Yeah, they haven't beaten the Cavs yet, as you mentioned. They haven't played them since Ibaka and Tucker came along, but they didn't beat them before that. That's going to be the real test. And of course, playing them last year, LeBron said he didn't ever feel like he was in any trouble against the Raptors, even when the series was tied 2-2. But they're a different team. They are a tougher team, and if everyone is healthy, Lowry's going to get now probably 5 or 6 games under his belt at least before he gets to the first round of the playoffs. You expect the Raptors are going to give them the toughest challenge, but they've got to get there first to meet them. And it's going to be tough that second round. Whoever matches up 2 and 3 in the Eastern Conference, that's going to be a tough series.
Sure. So you change your tune from last Thursday. It was only 7 days ago. You had the Wizards, who I believe, along with the Raps, are right there with the Toronto Raptors because they can threaten them on both ends. Unlike the Celtics, I don't think they can really bother the Cavs defensively, but these guys in the Washington Wizards, I feel like they do have the power to at least bother them like the Toronto Raptors do.
Ibaka and Tucker, when they're on the floor for the Raps, and I know it's not a massive sample size here, but when they're both out there, they have the best defense in the league. Those guys they've been studs for the Raptors. And again, you pair that with a little offense in your backcourt in DeRozan and Lowry. I think that's something there. And we've talked about before too, Casey has the option to go big with Valanciunas, who was instrumental in the win last night against the Pistons. He was huge in the 4th. Or not. You play Ibaka as your big and you go more small with some of your forwards there, even Tucker as your forward. So
I like the way
options.
I like the way the Raptors snuck Lowry in there last night when there was a lot of games on. No one really expected him to come back quite so soon. Plays 42 minutes.
Yeah, no minutes restriction.
Yeah, there was apparently a minutes restriction going into the game, but then when it got close, apparently Dwayne Casey decided, let's just go and try to get this win. So
he just asked for a new wristband. He went out there and he played. That was different to see him with wristband. But they have more success in the playoffs than the Celtics or the Wizards do recently. They have that going for them. And just the fact that I think Serge Ibaka, being a threat against LeBron James and Kyrie Irving is big. It's very big for a caboose like LeBron James can just go into the lane, do whatever he wants. LeBron has to think when Serge Ibaka is there in the middle. I think that's why they have a big advantage over the Wizards and Cavs.
All right, Trey, final one.
All right, it's finally time to talk about Russell Westbrook. Westbrook came just a rebound shy of notching his 8th straight triple-double last night, finishing with 45 points, 9 boards, and 10 assists in a Thunder win. Russ has been incredible these past couple of weeks. So, true or false, Westbrook's latest run makes him MVP?
Yeah, I think it's
always.
true.
The guy who's got the biggest game, he's always the MVP the next day. Everybody always has recency bias. That's what happens. It's difficult to sort of separate Russell Westbrook from everybody else. That's why Kawhi Leonard was MVP a few weeks ago when he had that block and then the 3-ball that beat the Houston Rockets. But I think for people, when it comes down to voting, they're going to see Russell Westbrook 6th in the standings. Those people aren't going to change their minds just because Russell Westbrook went on this run. That's just not going to happen. If you don't think that a guy can win, being in the bottom half of the conference, this little run isn't going to change that.
What if they win 49 games? What if they win out here? They're at 45 right now, finish with 49.
And still finish 6th? No. I don't think it changes anything for those people.
I think
this is very unprecedented for the last 30 years. It just hasn't happened.
But you're agreeing that this run that he's on, these last 8 games, he didn't get the triple-double last night. Who cares? He comes up one short in one of the categories. This run is unbelievable. It's the perfect timing for a race that was, 4 guys, then maybe 3 guys, and now down to Harden and Westbrook for most people. You got to have it helps if you've got the last 2 or 3 weeks that you're on the high from the other guy. Sure. And look, Harden was great in his win last night too, but Westbrook, for the 3rd time now in 6 games, he has to some extent single-handedly won his team a game. We saw it against Dallas, we saw it against Orlando, and he did the same thing last night. That was a tie game, 89-89. With about 4 or 5 minutes to go, and Westbrook kicked it up a notch, scored 11 points, had 2 huge threes, set up Dougie McBuckets for a huge 3. He just has been taking over these games,
Yeah.
and it's going to help with the voters for sure.
Harden had 14 straight in the fourth last night.
He was huge. I get it. He was huge, but I haven't heard many people talking about Harden this morning.
Well, and also the last 4 games.
His fault, though? That's the weird thing to me, is that why did the last few weeks of the season matter more than games in December? They shouldn't. These teams are both in the playoffs. They're not really playing for anything but seeds, and they're going to be in the seeds that they're stuck in. I don't understand why the last 2 weeks matter more than the first 24
They
weeks.
matter more because people haven't decided. They haven't.
But it's a season-long award.
I get it, but Tass said it. There's it's impossible not to have some recency bias. It's just impossible.
But
with anything.
I think people have decided. The people who think that 6th is too far low in the standings to have an MVP,
Well, yeah,
or having a sort of middle of the road offense, I think that comes into play, and obviously it'll come into play on our Stardies Awards, April 14th, 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll vote for our MVP right here.
And we'll probably see Westbrook make history tomorrow night.
Yeah.
He only needs 6 assists to officially average a triple-double, and that game is going to be here on the network. You got Hawks and Cavs tomorrow night, followed by the Thunder and Suns. And again, 6 assists. He'll probably have that within, I don't know,
First quarter sometime.
5 or 6 minutes, and then he'll officially join Oscar Robertson as the only players
Will
in
he
NBA
rest
history
then,
to
once he gets
average
it?
triple-double. Yeah, that's a good question. All right, we got to take a break. Lots more still to come when we come back. Brand new edition of the Meme Team. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters on NBA TV is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, proud partner of the NBA. Do your friends proud. Please drink responsibly.
Every Thursday here on The Starters, the 4 of us scour the internet to bring you the Meme Team, our favorite weird and wacky moments from the past 7 days.
At number 5, Wednesday, Kevin Love took a ball right to the face in warm-ups. Bang! Yes.
Right in the nose.
Heck of a shot. J.R. Smith, help bring him back to life. Resuscitate him, please. Now, if you remember, this happened to the Cavs last year, specifically LeBron James.
Oh.
And Bleacher Report dropped a DRE remix. Yeah.
This week, Warriors superstar Steph Curry jumped in the passenger seat with James Corden for a little carpool karaoke.
Who's the guy on your team? Pachulia?
Zaza Pachulia.
There you go. Zaza Pachulia.
Zaza Pachulia.
Yeah.
More singing. Shaquille O'Neal did a little lip sync battling on the Tonight Show. He did it very well. And then he hung out with Vin Diesel and Pitbull backstage.
I've been asking him since Fast and Furious 1 to put me in one of them little ass cars.
You can't fit him in the car.
I can't fit him in the car.
I can't fit the other diesel. You got 2 diesels and a Pitbull.
You got a modified car.
I got a modified car.
With the Superman on it.
2 diesels and a Pitbull. It's always love. It's always love. It's always love.
Allen Iverson revived his classic press conference rant to battle parking concerns at the Braves
We've
ballpark.
heard parking may be an issue.
Parking? The best franchise in all of baseball. And we're in here talking about parking. What are we talking about? I know we're not talking about parking. Not the game, but parking.
And at number 1, you remember this fantastic play where Steph Curry lost Marcin Gortat about 16 times. Whoa. That was good, but it may be not as good as this. Total Pro Sports put this together. Marcin just looking for Steph all over the globe.
Where is he?
Where'd he go?
Smooth move.
The new Where's Waldo? Where's Curry?
Well done. That was fun, but that wasn't the highlight of our week. Because we officially have passed the wedgie total from last year. 45 wedgies.
Oh, yeah.
New record, baby!
Great work.
45.
Yeah.
What a big number. We had 44 last year, and last night we got 45.
Oh.
After the free throw,
Is that a 3-man wedge?
little tip wedge.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to get it. They want the record.
Hurdle power to get it up in there. And we're projected, because we include the playoffs here, to get about 50.534646.
All right.
Yeah, last year's total included the playoffs too, so we're flying.
All right, great stuff. Coming up next, Grammy Award winner Monica joins us live from the Fortress. It's Swipe Right Night in Atlanta.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Hawks and Celtics on TNT this evening. There's Mr. Dwight Howard. Also, it's Swipe Right Night. What does that mean? Well, at Phillips this evening, fans can use the Tinder app inside the stadium to get special perks and meet up with matches. Yes, this is real. To bring it back, because last year was such a big success, upgrade this year. Monica is performing at halftime. We thought Monica would be joining us on the show to play a great game called Swiping with the Starters. Unfortunately, something happened.
What?
There's a lot of traffic in this town. Let's make that excuse for her. The I-85, some serious problems. So instead of Monica, Lee Ellis is going to be our Monica.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, because we had a fun game planned for.
Yeah, so we're going to play Swiping with the Starters.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got my phone out.
Sure. It's simple, just like Tinder.
Right.
You're gonna swipe right if you're cool with it, if you're down,
right.
if you approve of the topic.
All right.
And swipe left if you disapprove. All right.
Okay.
First one, controversial here. Pineapple on pizza.
Oh.
Swipe right if you're good. Left.
Swiping right.
You like it?
Pizza.
It's a big thing in Australia. You always throw pineapple on your pizza, especially Hawaiian one.
Hold on. You gotta answer these as if you were Monica. So put yourself in Monica's shoes. High heels.
Well, she's a mother of 3, I believe.
Yes.
So she eats well, takes care of herself. I think she likes pineapple.
All right.
So yeah, I'm saying she's swiping right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. She went to North Clayton High School along with 2 Chainz, who you shared a basketball court with once upon a time.
That's true, yeah.
He's a baller.
Yeah.
Do you think that Monica would swipe right regarding his basketball skills?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I
he's
agree.
tall. He's about 6'5", I think, 6'6".
He can play.
But he's also got range as well. He can knock in the long jump shot. And
you were shooting around with him.
yeah,
once,
we were shooting around down at the Fortress here for a 3-on-3 thing, and I think I actually beat him in a free throw shooting contest. But he could probably beat me in a straight up game because he's got the length. I can't defend him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inspired by Monica's 1998 hit.
Right.
Give us your opinion.
Right.
Swiping right or swiping left on getting down on the first night? Are you swiping right or swiping left?
Come on, Lee, be honest.
Getting down on the first night.
Well, I guess, are you talking my success rate or my... Because that's definitely a swipe
Your
left.
preferred method of conduct.
You take me out for dinner first, but I was always up for it.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear. All right, let's get back into your wheelhouse. Basketball.
Right.
The Atlanta Hawks playoff chances.
Yeah.
Swiping right or you're swiping
Oh
left?
yeah, I'm swiping right. The Hawks will make it. They haven't been playing very well lately.
But chances in the playoffs.
Our chances in the playoffs,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough in the first round, especially if Millsap is not there. They're probably going to face up against the Raptors, which would be pretty good for us down here. But I think they're going to struggle to get out of the first round. I think the top 4 seeds in the East are going to be very tough to beat.
Okay, we're going to take a look at a video before this next one.
Okay.
Monica's So Gone inspired the So Gone challenge, and D Wade, well, he jumped all over it.
Okay.
Well, my favorite number's 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3. CP, AI, and me. That's a cold-ass trio.
Okay, so swiping right or swiping left on D Wade's So Gone challenge?
I don't really know what it was.
It's to the tune of Monica's So Gone.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's her song.
Chance the Rapper sort of
Right.
viral.
Well, I'm going to swipe right because that was pretty spontaneous and it rhymed.
Oh, you don't think that was
That
written?
was written, of course.
No, I don't think so. And he threw it himself. He's number 3, he's 3-time champ. Wade, CP, and Allen Iverson. A couple of 3 big number 3s there. Well done,
You got
Blaine.
any bars you could freestyle for us, Lee? Maybe?
CP3 and Lee. That's all me. Next.
He wrote that.
So no is the answer to that.
Okay, personal question.
Yeah.
Swiping right or swiping left on tipping a dry cleaner?
Ooh.
I'm going to swipe left on that.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now why? You tip everyone else.
Yeah, I just don't
Does
feel.
he?
Oh, he may not. Yeah.
No, I just don't feel the dry cleaner's tip worthy. Is it?
Yeah, I'm with
mean-
you. I just want to pay for the service. I'm moving on.
But I think you can get better service.
Yeah, but
Really? How much
Clothes are
better?
gonna be clean.
No, the clothes not cleaner, but just they'll go above and beyond. Maybe you've got buttons, you've got zippers. I mean, just like, I know the service is there, but they'll throw things in for you. You tip your dry cleaner, you watch.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean,
you swipe left, I'm
if you don't
swiping
like
right.
the service, just go to a different dry cleaner. They're
You
everywhere.
guys aren't a mesh.
Next. All right, that was the last one. We're done. We're out of
You're
time.
a great Monica, man.
It was a great time. Thanks so much, Lee, for performing as Monica. You were
I
fantastic.
did my best.
All right.
Hey, we're booking Brandy next time.
Coming up after the jump, it's the very solid play.
We asked you, what are some other potential Jeopardy mascot questions? You hit us up on Twitter, #thestarters. Trey, you got a few of the best answers.
Yeah, Aaron says this NBA Dragon mascot once proposed to Kate Upton, who is Stuff. Classic. Doug says this player is known for terrorizing mascots. Who do you guys think?
Robin Lopez.
You gotta answer in the form of a question.
You got me!
And Alvin says, who's the naked mascot that you can only find in a cake during Mardi Gras?
Who
That's
is King Cake Baby?
You got it.
More of a what?
Yeah.
Than a
Yeah,
who.
what is?
Last night's pick'em play was Cavs Celtics. Tass the only one. Take the Cavs. He knew it was going to be a LeBron statement game, and it was. Tonight's pick'em, well, we'll get to it in a second. I forgot. Mrs. Doubtfire Challenge, guys. That's the payoff. Always for April. You just get a pie to the face. Lee's gotten it before. Obviously, Trey. Lee twice.
I'm leading 2-1.
Yeah. And I hope you lose again because you definitely do the best Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, it's worth it then.
Oh, hello! Wow, tonight, Celtics Hawks on TNT.
Swipe left.
We're all swiping left for the Celtics. Sorry to the Hawks fans out there. Kuka. Lee, VSP, man.
Going out to Phoenix, and it's another beauty from the Golden State Warriors here. Steph starts it off. And now watch Pat McCaw with a beautiful pass down here to Clay, cutting, finishes with a beautiful layup and one. Here it goes again.
that's
Beautiful
nice.
ball movement. Look, I love those angles. That's great. That's what I call a very solid play.
Excellent stuff, Monica Lee. Tomorrow, we've got the Drop Podcast. It's always a blast. Get your questions in. #thestarters. Email us, thestarters@nba.com. Worst of the week, obviously. Tweet of the week. We step on the beach, read your questions. It's a blast. Got some fan signs.
Margot in San Antonio, last week this was, she was going for Kawhi for the MVP and the Spurs for the #1 seed. Brothers Chase and Channing Frye, no, not Channing Frye, sorry, I've got Channing there. At their first Bucks game. Lily and Kalen, also at their first NBA game at the Roracle last week.
Great stuff.
Jordan and his wife, and I'm glad that he stated he was there with his wife because then I wouldn't be guessing it was his wife or
All
girlfriend
right,
or
guys.
partner.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, even though Monica wasn't on our show, she's still an angel of mine.
Race the night, people.